Vice President Honorable Dr Bharrat Jagdeo on Friday highlighted the setbacks faced by the PPPC government as a result of entering office without an approved budget for the 2020 fiscal year. The situation was compounded by over $200 billion of liabilities and unapproved spending by the previous government.
You would recall that we passed the budget, but that the appropriation bill was only approved on the 30th of September. And that effectively gave us a government, a fully functioning government, only for the month of October and a few days in November, because prior to that, we did not have the powers to spend. We had to go with the 112 provision.
The vice president said that the government had also assumed office under strenuous conditions brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic.
We had to quickly address that situation. A government that didn't have budgetary resources for the most part of its life in office thus far, but had to try to address that situation through exceptional means.
Despite the early constraints, the PPPC government was still able to keep many of the promises outlined in its manifesto.
There's been a lot of changes in that regard to ensure that the machinery of government operated more efficiently, expeditiously, and with more care in terms of services that it provided.
The government will mark 100 days in office on November 10. Meanwhile, Dr. Jagdeo said the PPPC government has been adequately handling the reopening of the economy in the face of the ongoing pandemic. A strategic plan was in place over the last 3 months.
The key issues have been in trying to deal with both trying to reopen the economy, because there are a lot of people want this. We talk to people every day, not just the business owners, but workers, people who now ran out of money, who don't have a social safety net. They just need to get back to work.
The government safely reopened the 2 international airports and reduced the curfew hours.
Capability has grown exponentially. It's still not perfect because nobody has a cure, but we have now more material from the drugs to deal with frontline drugs and all of that to deal with people. So the testing has gone up enormously to the capability. And then we have expanded the emergency rooms and the number of beds and all of that to make sure that we can deal with larger number of cases.
In the energy sector, the vice president said Guyanese will have some 10 megawatts of power purchased from Macop by Christmas. He said the government discovered that there was not enough power in the system. Over the last few months, 5 megawatts of power were purchased from Giftland for emergency purposes. In its quest for accountability, the government continues its investigation into the massive state land giveaway by the former administration. Dr. Jagdeo said a special team is reviewing the situation. He said victims will not be prosecuted.
This will happen, trust me. It's going to happen. It's just that we are not obsessing about it. We're not obsessing about it, and we're not going about it in a vindictive manner. And we want to make sure that we don't go after victims, that we want to go after the planners and the perpetrators of the large crimes.